Training's nearly over. Fingers crossed the burger van opens in a minute.
Hello and welcome to part 4 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're away against North Ferriby and at home against Harrogate, both in the National League North. Since you were last with me, form has been indifferent. We've had a lot more. In fact, that's pretty poor, actually. We've lost 4 games, won 2. The important thing, though, is we've got a double piece of good news about Jordan Nicholson. Firstly, he had a miraculous recovery from his injury. Only missed 2 games, I think, with what was supposed to be a 6 to 8 week injury. So clearly the man is a machine. And then to add on to that extra good news, he's also agreed to stay on loan with us until the end of the season, which we need him to do because we may have broken Ashley Chambers. Because if you look back through our goal scorers from recent games, he hasn't scored since the start of September. This is supposed to be our best player. Whatever we're doing isn't working for him. He's just not scoring goals for us anymore. And that's something of a problem. There's been a little bit of transfer movement as well. Loans coming in and out. So Jamal Adams and Jamie Horncastle have both gone out to join Merthyr Tydfil. And we've brought in 5 players on loan in addition to securing Nicholson until the end of the season. None of these are particularly outstanding, but they add bodies to the squad, they add options, allow us to rotate a little bit and try different ideas. So Elliot Rocker is a 21-year-old striker who can play pretty much any role up front. We brought him in to be a target man, but he's actually better in other areas. He's 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. He's as good as Jonathan Nixon, not quite up there with Ashley Chambers, but he did score in the FA Cup in the last game or the game before last. So he's scored more recently than either of them. So that gives him something going for him. Joey Jones is probably the pick of the bunch. 23-year-old centre-back who comes in on loan from Woking. These are all loans until the end of the season, by the way. 3-star potential, 4.5-star ability, 3-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. He's on loan. He's also on loan until the end of the season. Kev, do you not know how to do videos anymore? What's happening to you, you idiot? He's scored a goal, so he's actually more prolific than any of our strikers at the moment, which is handy. Josh McDonald is just another option for us to have on the right wing. He's primarily a right midfielder, but can play right wing as well. He's brought in if we want to do a flat midfield 4, really. He gives us an option to do that. I don't know how I feel about him. He's not impressed that much since he's only played 1 game, but he was rubbish. Matty Waters just gives us some cover at left back. Again, bags of potential, not quite first team quality yet. And then Ashley Salmons is another good player. Central midfielder, 3.5-star current abilities, 26 years old, been at Solihull Moors where he's played 20 games this season already in the division above us. I don't know why they agreed to let him come out on loan, but that's exactly what they have done. And he's as good as El Bekri and Elliott, so we now have an extra option in midfield as well, so we can rotate a little bit in midfield. All of that means that this is the team that we're currently going to attempt to put out there. This is against North Ferriby. We've experimented with a few different things. Certainly when Nicholson was injured, we tried a 4-4-2. We tried a 4-3-3 or 4-5-1, whatever you want to call it. None of it really worked. That was when we lost those 2 games in a row there, and we just looked pathetic in both games. So Nicholson is back. We're back to the 4-2-3-1. We now know we can do it into the rest of the season, but we also know Ashley Chambers isn't scoring goals. So we've shifted him out to the right wing for the last 2 or 3 games. We've given Jonathan Nixon a little run in the team. He's not really taking his opportunity. 2 goals from 12. This is probably his last chance before Rocker comes in as a more permanent replacement. But we've got Linus in goal, a back 4 of Dielna, Jones, Langmead and Heaton moving out from his usual centre-back to right-back with the arrival of Jones on loan and the return to fitness of captain Kelvin Langmead. Midfield of El Bekri and Elliott, but with Salmon sat there ready to jump in and take the place of either of them if they have a drop in form. And then Henshaw, Nicholson and Chambers in behind Nixon. It's a team that I would expect to be able to score goals, but this fella needs to get his act together and start scoring some. And at the moment, it doesn't seem to be likely to happen. And I don't know, we've speculated before that the fact that we've got Nicholson might be causing us more harm than good, because although he's a very, very talented player, he's forcing us to play in a system that accommodates an attacking midfielder, which doesn't really suit playing at this level. So We could put him out on the left wing, but then we have to drop Henschel, who's also one of our better players. And all of it means we don't get to play Chambers alongside a target man. And I think if we had him alongside a target man, he'd probably be a lot more effective. But we don't have a decent target man, unless Rocker comes in and is brilliant. And it's all... I'm still... Where are we? Closing in on halfway through the season, I still don't really know what our best team is going to be. It's proving to be quite challenging. Chambers, though, has just scored an absolute freak of a goal from the right wing. It moves us back up into a playoff position, I think. And that might be just one of those goals where he'll wake up again now and be back to his best. It was obviously supposed to be a cross, but he completely mishit it. And it's ended up flying into the top corner. Goal of the season from Ashley Chambers. There you go. The man is back. And hopefully that's just going to be a little confidence boost. We might stick him back up front now. Now he's got a goal. Now he's got that off his back. What's the phrase there? Why can't I do speaking properly today? I don't know what's wrong with me. We just given away a penalty. No, I don't really know what happened there. The Nuneaton fans were furious apparently, but it kind of all just stopped and the highlight ended. I wonder what we were furious with. Right, that's a terrible throw from Dielna, but Beckery intercepts back to Dielna again, who finds Nixon, who's taken up a very wide position. There's no one up supporting him, and yeah, it's a terrible shot, but he really wasn't left with very many other options. He's not really got it in him to hold the ball up and wait for everyone to catch up with him, and perhaps that's as good a reason as any why he shouldn't be the man who's playing as our lone striker. But I would have expected the three behind him to get up there a little bit quicker and offer him support. That's the way we're supposed to be playing in my head. It doesn't seem like we get up there and support him as quickly as I'd like though. Nixon again this time does find Dielna. Henschel has got loads of space to run into and that's exactly what he does. Cross comes in and it's another poor cross but doesn't end up in the back of the net like the one from Chambers earlier on did. Beckery with a one-armed corner comes in and it's just headed clear. I mean there's no one there even challenging, but Nicholson picks up the loose ball very deep, tries to play it back to Henschel, but he's running in completely the wrong direction. And, I mean, that says a lot about the cohesion of our team at the moment and how well we're playing in this tactic. We're just not. Henschel, Nixon, one of the midfielders, I didn't see which one it was. There's a lot of players not having a very good game today. Henschel with a lovely ball, though, to Nixon, who fights off his man. And just as I'm about to take both him and Henschel off, we get a great ball from Henschel and then a really strong piece of attacking play from Nixon as well. Let's have a look at this on the replay. So Henschel picks the ball up deep. It is a lovely pass for Nixon, but Nixon uses pace and strength to fight off both of those players around him, and it's a lovely finish. Why doesn't he do that when you lot aren't watching? We might have to have you here for every game. If this is what it takes to get Nixon and Chambers to turn up, that's a really weak goal to concede. Seemed to be a bit of a nothing chance. It's a throw-in, I mean, and then a cross, and then just a really simple finish. We haven't been awake to that at all. Just poor marking. Right, let's not be discouraged. Chambers now, can he use his pace to beat a man? He can't. That goal still hasn't re-injected him with the confidence that he had earlier in the season, and before we know it, it's 2-2. And that, I mean, they've just hit us with a quick double punch that, this is how you have the stuffing knocked out of you. And it's been the story of our season so far. We start strong. Sometimes we start strongly. We certainly don't always. But when we start strongly, we just don't seem to be able to hold on. Which is weird because we're a full-time professional club. We should be fitter than these other teams. We should be able to last longer into games than these other teams. Right, I'm going to take Henschel off and bring Rocker on. And we're going to go to a 4-2-4 and try that. So Nicholson can just be a winger out there. We'll leave him on attack, maybe. Rocker can be a target man alongside Nixon. And we're just going to pump the ball into the box now. And we're also going to take off Elliott and bring on Salmons. Does he want to be the box-to-box or a deep-line playmaker? He doesn't really want to be either. Well, he can be box-to-box then. And for my final trick, I might take off Ashley Chambers and have a look at Josh McDonald. There you go. If we score, I'll drop to 4-4-2. Are we on control? We need to just push on a little bit. We want a win in this game. Which, by the way, why can't I change that from the match screen anymore? You used to be able to change that from the match screen. I only just noticed that just now. That was annoying that I had to do that. Nothing's happening, is it? Nope. Not even going to get a highlight. Not even going to have a look at this front four in a different combination. Right, Salmons. Break is on. Lumps it forward to McDonald, who has space. And I think it's Salmons who's rushing on to get into the middle. And it's a terrible cross from McDonald. And I thought that was a goal for a minute there. The way it said he'll claim it. But there was nothing to claim. Right, Nixon from the corner is fouled. And this is going to be probably our last chance. Although there's 5 minutes of time added on. We're not even halfway through it yet. El Bekri whips the cross in and no one gets on the end of it. And there's still 2 minutes at least for us to try and grab a winner. And it's Jones with a free kick with 30 seconds left. McDonald, can he beat a man and get a cross in? He's certainly going to try to. It's another really poor cross from Josh McDonald though. And I guess it's not a disaster to go away from home and pick up a draw. But I feel like we probably should have won this game. Right, El Bekri lumps it forward to Nixon, who just backs away from it, doesn't make any attempt to win the ball. And it is all over. Still really struggling to figure out a system for this Nuneaton team. Let me know down in the comments what you would be doing with them. And while I try and figure something out for this Harrogate game, who are second in the league and are probably going to beat us. We're going to try something different today then against Harrogate. They are second in the league. They are better than we are. We're going to do a 4-3-3. We're going to do counter-attacking unstructured. And this is the team that we're going to use. So Linus in goal. A back four of Dielna, Heaton, Gohagen. I think that's how we decided you say his name. And Trotman. Jones moves forward to be a defensive midfield player because he's a natural there as well. So we may as well try him there. Elliott and El Bekri continue in midfield, but El Bekri can play as an advanced playmaker, which is his preferred position. So he's going to get up into that position, usually occupied by Nicholson, who moves out onto the left wing, which means Henshaw has to drop down to the bench. Rocker's coming into the team as a target man on support. A little bit harsh on Nixon because he did well in that last game, but I just don't think he's got what he needs to have to be able to play as the target man. And to use this system, I think that's exactly what we do need. And Chambers is going to stay on the right wing, but we're going to put him on an attack instruction to try and get him more involved with what's going on up front. So, it's probably not. I mean, I wonder if we should just have clear ball to the wings or whatever that instruction is and just get the ball up in these positions. Clear ball to flanks. Do we want to do that? What does that actually do? To make the clearances into wider areas to be picked up by attacking players. I mean, we have got players in... I mean, that might be our route to counter-attacking. Lump it out to the wing and get crosses in to... Rocker? Is that his name in the middle? I can't remember his name. Yeah, Rocker. Splendid. Or should we be clearing the ball up into the area for him to head down for the other two more talented players to run beyond him? But I guess our two best players are Nicholson and Chambers, and they're not playing in their best positions, which says a lot about the state that we're in. But they're our two best players, so I figure we should try and get the ball to them, maybe. Right, Elliott does exactly that, but it doesn't quite get where it needs to get. And there is Nicholson with the ball now, finding Elliott to El Bekri. What's all this passing the ball around? This isn't what we do. Rocker can't win a header. I mean, that's going to be a problem. If he's not going to win headers, then this whole tactic falls apart. This whole tactic is built around having a target man. And if he's not going to win headers when they come up to him like that, then... Oh, I give up. Right. Let's try and defend. Oh, they hit the crossbar. I still don't know who we should be clearing the ball to. I feel like we should actually be clearing it up the middle. Do that. And for him to head it down to the other two, maybe. Let's pump balls into the box and see what happens. That's what we use with Alfreton, isn't it? I think we pump ball into the box with them and it seems to work quite well. Right, Rocco. Oh, a little fancy trick. And finds Elliott. Chambers is in a nice attacking position. I like the look of this. But Elliott does miss out on the ball on the edge of their area. And they're now counter-attacking on us, which isn't what's supposed to happen at all. But luckily their shooting is a little bit wayward. I'm not sure if this is working. I need to figure out a tactic quick and just stick with it. Right, Elliott tries. I think he was trying to find Chambers, but it was a really weird pass. And now they're counter-attacking on us again. We're just giving the ball away. Every time we get the ball in the opposition half, we're just giving it away. We need to forget this nonsense. And, yeah, we'll be more direct with our passing, but we don't need to pump the ball anywhere. Let's try and at least play a little bit of football. Perhaps we need to go wider and exploit the flanks, because that's where our two best players are. There you go, ball forward to... It's supposed to be Rocker, but I think that's actually Chambers there, isn't it? Who's clearly the guy who stayed up, which is fine, I guess. And it's 2-0, and... exploit the flanks. Let's do that. And go a little bit wider. See if we can punish them that way. This is hard. This is a hard job with Nuneaton. Really, really difficult. See, I'm thinking, so I'm not talking. I apologise. I'm pondering the problem. Please, 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 down in the comments, give me ideas about what I should be doing. I'm wondering if I've made a rod for my own back by bringing Nicholson in for the rest of the season. We were just on the verge of not having to use him. And now we're using him, but in a really wasteful way. There's no point having him out there as a left winger. He's not getting into the game. So now we've got him on the pitch, and he's being really ineffective. We've got our two best players playing out of position as wide men who aren't getting the ball. I mean, this this looks like the kind of random tactical decisions that managers make just before they get sacked. Just rolling the dice and trying different combinations. And that kind of is what's going on. But to be 3-0 down at home before half-time, I mean, that just about confirms that this system doesn't work. So we need a new plan going into the second half. And I tell you what, I know what it's going to be. I feel a diamond coming on. Right, Elliot tries to play Rocker in. Elliot again. This time to Nicholson. Rocker is there and shoots, and nothing. Absolutely nothing. Right, tactics. Give me some tactics. We're reshuffling this whole thing. You're going to go up with him. And you're going to be a poacher. You're going to go in behind the two of them. And you're going to do that. And then I might just leave the rest of the team as it is. But obviously we now want to go quite narrow. And we don't want to be exploiting flanks anymore. We want to be exploiting the middle. Right. And forget this counter-attacking nonsense. Let's go to control. Let's try that then. See if that makes a difference. We give Chambers a strike partner pretty much for the first time all season. He's got someone playing up alongside him. That might be all he needs. I feel like if we can get him scoring, then we've got a chance. And with Nicholson in behind him and a partner alongside him, this has got to be the system that's going to get the best out of our two best players, hasn't it? But it's just whether I've destroyed their confidence with all my fiddling up until now. Right, Rocker does play Chambers in, but it's very wide, but he's got space to run into and hopefully can cross back to one of the two in the middle, and it is Nicholson, and that is a lovely goal. Nicholson had time and space. It's a lovely finish, and it's an assist from Chambers. There you go. This is the combination to play those two in. Just fit either Nixon or Rocker in alongside them both, but look at all the time, and I mean Nicholson just showed his class there. And it was the front three combining just in a slightly different arrangement. After all this tactical fiddling, are we really going to be playing a diamond? Thing is, Henschel is one of our best players, and he's just never going to get in the team if we are doing this. Which will be a shame. But, I mean, we have looked... I say we've looked better. We looked better in that one highlight where we scored a goal. That goal was good, wasn't it? Right, we're lumping the ball up again. Rocker, what can he do with it? Finds Nicholson, who plays Chambers in. Chambers is through on goal and misses. But again, a chance created purely because of the combination that this front three are playing in. We might have our system that we're going to fiddle with for a little while. Let's make some changes. I'm going to bring Nixon on for Chambers just because I still feel guilty that he hasn't been on from the start. Salmons, do you want to be an attacking midfield? Not really. You don't really want to do anything, do you? Central midfielder on attack, maybe? Our defence has been useless today. Let's try Matty Waters. We're not giving him a debut yet. Let's see what he's like at left back. Right, 20 minutes to try and grab 2 goals. It's a lumped ball forward from Exodus, and Rocker is offside. Right, they're building again. Another highlight really quickly, but Salmon's intercepts, lumps it up to Nixon. Rocker's in space if he can find him, but instead elects to pass it all the way back to Jones. But we're building again. Nicholson, Salmons is in space. We've got men over in midfield all the time now. Nixon's in behind, crosses, but there's nobody there, and that's exactly where Henshaw would have been if he'd have been on the pitch. Can we just play with like 12 or 13 players? I want to do a diamond plus have wingers either side. Perhaps we need to abandon this whole silly idea of playing a defence. Go full on Monaco style, the way we played there, and basically have our fullbacks as wingers. No, I remember we need defenders because we're not very good at the defending, are we? I remember now. Perhaps, and this will be a blast from the past, perhaps we need to do the old Bolton battle 3-5-2 with an attacking midfielder. That allows us to play Chambers and Nicholson in their right positions, plus gives us the width that the wing backs will give us. We've got very attacking fullbacks. We've got a load of centre backs. It just doesn't take advantage of having our wingers. Perhaps this is what we should have been doing all along. Right, Nixon in behind again. Nixon is quick and strong. I like him. He just needs to finish a little bit better. But I guess if he could do that, he wouldn't be playing in the Conference North. Elliott with the corner this time. And it falls to Jones, who's got a lot of time. Doesn't really know what to do with it, but Nicholson also didn't know what to do with it. Right, we're going to go to a 3-5-2 for the next match, I think. I know you guys aren't going to see it, but if it works, I'll still be doing it in the next episode, so you'll know if it worked out. I've got to stop fiddling. We need to pick a tactic and stick with it. But I can't pick a tactic and stick with it when we're losing 4-1 at home, because that's not the tactic to stick with then. Right, Waters lumps it forward to Nixon, who's through again, and this time does finish. Jonathan Nixon looks all right. He's got this. He's got a little bit of something about him, but I don't see how we play him and Chambers together. But then Rocker's not been any good today, has he? Perhaps we just play with a poacher and an advance forward and just go full on attack with our front three and set up the rest of the team to just support them. Because if Nixon's going to score goals, we need to get him in the team as well. Salmons with the corner, and it just falls as far as Nixon. And 4-2, pathetic. We're not very good, but I think we now have a plan, and that's the important thing. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and thank you very much for watching.